All right, all right. I apologize for that. We're going to go ahead and call our meeting to order. 1.2 Pledge of Allegiance. And if I can have Mr. Jones lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, 1.3 approval of the agenda. Second.
Good.
Moved by
President,
moved by Dr. Wyatt, second by Ms. Medina.
yeah. I had an item to pull.
Oh.
Miss Alexander.
I see. You haven't. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You want to pull item 9.10?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So we're gonna pull item 9.10. Can I get a motion for that?
Moved.
Second to the amendment.
Thank you. Backwards. Ms. Medina, Dr. White. All right, and let's go ahead and take a vote on that. This is okay. It's new. Did it work? Awesome. Okay, awesome. Motion carries. 2.1, recognition of School Crossing Guard Appreciation Day. So I will now turn it over to Ms. Maria Garcia.
Thank you, President Ceballos. Good evening. My name is Maria Garcia, and I'm proud to serve SBCUSD as Communications Manager. Today, the Board of Education is proud to recognize School Crossing Guard Appreciation Day, which is actually this Friday, and honor the dedicated crossing guards who help ensure the safety of San Bernardino City Unified School District students as they travel to and from school each day. Although crossing guards are not SBCUSD employees, our crossing guards are often the first friendly faces our students see in the morning and the last ones they see before heading home. Through rain, cold, heat, and busy traffic, they stand watch with professionalism, care, and unwavering commitment. Their presence provides reassurance to families and creates a safer environment for thousands of students across our district. Friday, as I mentioned, is actually School Crossing Guard Appreciation Day, so look to our social media on Friday for some additional surprises that we've got coming directly from our SBCUSD students. At this time, I would like to invite Mr. Robert Gervais, team manager with the Crossing Guard Company, which provides crossing guards to SBCUSD and truly all over the country. Robert is going to share brief remarks, and he will be introducing fellow team members, including two who flew in from out of state specifically for this recognition. Following his remarks, we will take photos, and then we will begin calling our crossing guards so we can take more photos. We will be calling our crossing guards in groups of 10. So please help me welcome Mr. Robert Gervais to the podium.
There's the button. Okay.
Good evening. First, I'd like to thank the San Bernardino USD members of the board for taking time out of your busy calendars to honor our heroes. I'd like to introduce the individuals who are with me. I'd like to start with our team lead here in San Bernardino, and that's Cynthia Bazansky. Cynthia and her supervisors, Alicia and Carolyn, are the true managers here running this program, making sure that the guards are where they need to be, when they need to be there, that they're equipped, well trained. And when they can't, I've often seen them get out there and work the shift themselves. Cynthia, thank you for all you do here in San Bernardino, you and your team. Second, I'd like to introduce Carrie Smith Davenport. I know most of you know Carrie. Carrie started, she was a crossing guard, and that was her first adult job. Her second adult job was as a supervisor of crossing guards. And now 16 years later, she runs all 600 sites here in the Inland Empire, including San Bernardino City School District. Carrie, thank you for everything you do. As you mentioned, we do have some visitors from out of town. We have from Texas, we have our National Operations Manager, Kimberly Craig. And from Kansas, we have our Director of Operations, Bob Vicarelli. Again, I want to thank everybody for coming out to celebrate and honor our heroes. These folks come from all different walks of life. College students, moms, dads, grandparents, retired law enforcement, retired administrators and teachers. Their main goal is to continue that lifelong quest of keeping our children safe. As we honor them, we think about what they do every day, all the different factors, the heat, the rain, the distracted drivers, the uncooperative pedestrians, and now you can add e-bikes to that list. But every shift, they walk out into a street filled with moving cars, they put up their stop sign, and they pray. They pray that the cars will stop and the pedestrians will listen to their instruction. I want to thank them on behalf of ACMS. They are our heroes for all that they do. I want to thank again the San Bernardino USD for taking this time and honoring them. I want to thank the individuals behind me for being such a great support team. And again, to our heroes, tonight is your night. Please enjoy it. We appreciate all that you do.
Thank you, Robert, for your partnership and continued support of our schools. We appreciate your team for joining us for this celebration. Now I would like to kindly ask our board members and superintendent to gather at the front of the dais as I prepare to call our honorees forward. The first photo that we will do will be with the team from the Crossing Guard Company, and then we will proceed to calling our crossing guards in groups of 10. So please join me down here. Oh.
1 second. I was going to interrupt, Ms. Garcia. It's okay. Thank you. We have two comments. Mr. Tillman?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you very much for the work that you do. And I want my fellow board members to know, we have new board members here, but our district is one of the few districts that pay for the total cost of crossing guards. And that's because we know the importance of having crossing guards there for our students. Years ago, we used to split the cost between the city and the district. And most cities pay for crossing guards because that truly is the city's responsibility. But this board didn't want to take the risk of not having crossing guards and one of our children getting hurt because you weren't there. So I want to thank you all and tell you that we appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dr. Wyatt?
Thank you, Madam President. I want to echo what Board Member Tillman said as well. This has been a huge issue for me way back in my career, probably about 20 years ago when I worked on a law enforcement education partnership, and we discussed safe routes to school. And we know one of the most important safety aspects of kids getting to school is crossing guards and making sure they have a safe place to cross. And you're absolutely right. I was probably one of those crazy parents back in the day when my kids were younger. So drive slowly out there, please, and respect our crossing guards out there because it is a very important job. And I can't say thank you enough to all of you out there in the back. Thank you for what you do and for protecting our students and our families. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Back to you, Ms. Garcia.
Thank you, Board President. So as our board makes their way down to the this area, our Vicki Wood is going to guide our groups to come forward. You will be taking you will be shaking hands. We ask that you hold your certificate proudly in front so that we can commemorate this occasion. Cabinet, we would also like you to take your positions along the dais to greet our crossing guards, please. I think we're ready for our first group of crossing guards to come forward as the Board of Education presents certificates of appreciation in recognition of your outstanding service and your dedication to student safety. You will also see your names recognized on the screen. And crossing guards, we know that you worked this morning, you worked this afternoon tending to your duties. We want you to know that you do not have to stay for the entire board meeting. In fact, if you would like, you can exit the community room immediately after your group photo is taken. Big smiles from our crossing guards. I think we're ready for group two. Group two, please make your way down the ramp, and you certainly deserve a round of applause. Audience, although we are recognizing about 30 crossing guards this evening, this school district counts on more than 60 crossing guards to take care of the needs of all our schools. So group 3 is getting ready to come on down, and that will be our final group. Cabinet may return to their seats on the dais as we prepare to wrap up this celebration. That is the final group photo. As our crossing guards depart, let's give them a big round of applause for keeping our kiddos safe. And thank you, Board and Superintendent and Cabinet. Would you kindly return to your seats? On behalf of the Board of Education, thank you to all the crossing guards here and those who may be watching from home. Thank you again for keeping our scholars safe each day. This now concludes this evening's special presentation. At this time, I'll turn the floor over to Board President Mayra Ceballos. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much again, and congratulations to all of our crossing guards. Next up, we have 3.0 public comments. Let me go ahead and. This is the only time the public has an opportunity to address the board on items not on the agenda and within their subject matter jurisdiction, such as district policies, procedures, programs, services, or fiscal matters. The board must operate under the Brown Act, open meeting regulations, which prevents boards from commenting on items not on the agenda to ensure transparency and public participation in government decision-making. The reason is simple. The board wants to make sure that anyone who has an opinion on an item knows via our posted agenda when we will be discussing it as a board. During public comments, the board can ask clarifying questions but cannot discuss, answer questions, or ask questions on a topic that is not agendized. We're certainly happy that you are here to let us know your concerns. Please know that we're listening to your voices and your input is valued. If a follow-up is required on your comment, a staff member will reach out to you. Please make sure your email or phone number is provided on your comment form so that they may contact you. Public comments are limited to 5 minutes per person. 6 or more people who wish to speak on one topic will be provided no more than 30 minutes total. Speakers are cautioned that under California law, no person is immune from liability for making intentionally false or defamatory comments regarding any person simply because these comments are made at a public meeting. Up first, we would like to call Mr. Rodriguez, Jareth Rodriguez. I'm sorry. Jareth Rodriguez, right?
Okay. It's
Okay.
pronounced Jara
Jara.
or Hara in
Ah,
Spanish.
Jara. So sorry. Thank you. Such a pretty name.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Jara Rodriguez. I'm a youth leader with England Congregations United for Change, ICUC, and a student at Arroyo Valley High School. I'm here today to personally make the invite to our upcoming Educator Diversity and Pathways convening, which is led by ICUC youth leaders, and will be taking place on Thursday, February 19th at 6 p.m. Some of you may have already received an invite from us if we had your emails. Apologies if we didn't. I want to start by thanking everyone who has already confirmed their attendance. We truly appreciate your support and your commitment to showing up for our students and educators. I also want to kindly ask those who we haven't heard back from yet to please check your inboxes. We completely understand that schedules are busy and inboxes are full, but we would really value your participation. If you hadn't heard from us, you will find the QR code to register on the flyer that was just shared with you. Once registered, we'll follow up by email with full event details, including the location. Additionally, we encourage you to invite other SBUSD staff members who you believe should be part of this conversation. More voices in the room, the stronger this convening will be. Thank you for your time, your support, and for continuing to invest in educator diversity and student pathways.
Thank you so much. Thank you for bringing this and sharing it with us. And yeah.
If you don't mind, can you clarify exactly what the event is about so we can all understand?
The Educator Diversity and Pathways convening is simply having the students have educators that of different ethnicities and having themselves be represented and the students feeling comfortable in the classrooms. Pathways is so that students have more career dedicated classes that they want to take for their future, for whatever career they want to go down on.
Awesome. Was that your question? Awesome. No other questions? Well, thank you so much. Thank you for coming out and sharing this with us.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Sheila Houston.
Good evening, Superintendent Ariano, members of the cabinet, and honorable members of the board. My name is Sheila Houston. I'm a fourth grade teacher at North Park Elementary. On behalf of North Park Elementary School, we are honored to invite you to attend our first annual fourth grade Black History Living Museum presentation on Wednesday, February 25th, 2026, from 1:30 p.m. to 3:15 p.m. on our campus. The Living Museum is a scholar-centered celebration of Black history and culture, led by our fourth grade scholars as they bring historical figures to life through research, storytelling, and performance. The event reflects the commitment to cultural responsive education and to honor the voices, achievements, and the lasting contributions of Black leaders, past and present. Your presence would be especially meaningful to our students and staff, and further underscore our district's shared dedication to equity, inclusion, and academic excellence. We would truly be honored to welcome you to North Park Elementary for this inspiring event. Please feel free to contact us If you have any questions or need any additional details. And thank you very much for your leadership, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you. Up next, we have Ms. Negrete. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, board members. It's been a long time, but great to see you all. Happy New Year. I want to bring to your attention something that happened today at Richardson. So I would love for this to all be like good news, but unfortunately, I'd like to look into it because for me, the capacity of the principal is where it stops, where it starts. You know, you start from the top. And to learn that a principal took it upon herself to call to the attention of the students to inform them that if they wanted to protest on the campus, good, right? And I understand everybody has a right to, First Amendment right. However, when she took that attention to extend and say, hey, you know what, if the boundaries of the school are not sufficient, you are welcome to proceed and go into, the rest of the streets. As you know, Richardson is in a very busy street. I can tell you that I have a young child who attends Valley, and my own child will not take the bus because just the area around there, it's not a place where she feels safe. So to hear that, she said, hey, you know what, if this boundary isn't enough, if you don't just want to protest here, you want to take it further than that, go ahead and, we just call your parents. And then of course that led to the students getting on their phone, calling the parents, and it began to backtrack some of what was going on. So because students were on the phone, then she went ahead and she got on the overcome again and said, you know what, come and line up, we'll call them. And of course, there was a line of students to get ready to go out, a line of students to get ready to call their parents. That opens the liability to the district. And I'm seeing on social media where they're saying, hey, you know what, we have teachers going out, whether it's at Pacific, whether it's at Cone, whatever high school it may be. When you have additional staff out there on the street, what happens if that staff member gets injured? Does that then become a workman's comp claim against the district? Because it does give the view to everyone else that this is endorsed by the district. So not only, I would encourage you to look into what happened to at Richardson, because it does look like she was promoting it. She can say back, well, don't tell your parents that I said so, but the thought in the student's head was not there until she opened it up. So why put the safety of kids in that manner? To me, the liability begins there. She opened that liability for the district when she took it upon herself, unless this has been a district-endorsed activity. And if it's not, I asked the superintendent to address this. So another matter that I really would like to see you, I know that the chief of school police position is open. And I ask, have all of you done your due diligence to look into the candidates? Because I have looked, and it's very easy right now, and nowadays, to find whatever information you want to find for any of the candidates. We can know whether or not the morale or where they're coming from is good or bad. And I think this is a time where you as board members have the opportunity to make history, because why not hire a female chief of school police? Why not? When you look into anyone's background, who has the cleanest background? Who has the experience? So why not make history and put in your first female school chief of police? I encourage you to look into every single one of those candidates, because if I was able to find information on all of them, so can you. Thank you.
Thank you. And I believe that's all the comments for tonight. Now we're going to go ahead and move to 4.0 closed session, 4.1 closed session public comments. Do we have any?
We don't.
All right, 4.2 closed session adjournment. We'll be back. All right, we are now back from closed session. We're going to go ahead and move to 5.1 action reported from closed session. Approval, 5.1 approval of school vice principal Teresa Rodriguez. Can, can I, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Who moved first?
I did.
Moved by Mr. Tillman. Second by Dr. Wyatt. And second by Dr. Wyatt. Let's vote. Motion carries. Be it resolved, the Board of Education approves the appointment of the following employee: Teresa Rodriguez, Elementary School Vice Principal, school site, effective date, work year, and salary to be determined. So now I'll go ahead and turn it over to Dr. Doizan to introduce Ms. Rodriguez.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to formally welcome and introduce Mrs. Teresa Rodriguez as the new Vice Principal of Bing Wong Elementary School. Mrs. Rodriguez brings nearly 2 decades of service to SBCUSD, most recently as an MTSS TOSA at Kimbark Elementary, where she has strengthened Tier 2 and Tier 3 systems to support our scholars in their academic growth, coached teachers, led PLCs, and deepened partnerships with families. Her experience as a program facilitator and bilingual classroom teacher gives her both instructional depth and operational strength to meet the demands of being an instructional leader. What makes Mrs. Rodriguez the right fit for Bing Wong is her approach. She's a servant leader, a reflective thinker, and a trusted relationship builder who centers our scholars, staff, and community in every decision. We are excited about the leadership she will bring to Bing Wong, and at this time, please join me in welcoming Vice Principal Teresa Rodriguez to say a few words.
Good evening, President Ceballos, board members, Superintendent Arellano, cabinet colleagues, families, and community members. I am truly honored and grateful for this opportunity. I'd like to thank the board for placing your trust in me and allowing me to continue to serve a district that has shaped not only my career, but my heart. I love San Bernardino. My husband and I, we live here. We've raised 4 amazing children that all attend SBCUSD schools because we believe in our district. I'd like to begin by thanking God for providing me with the experiences that He has placed in my path. Every challenge, lesson, and opportunity has led to prepare me to be the educator and leader that I am today. And I do not take this moment lightly. I thank my parents who taught me the value of hard work, perseverance, and humility, always showing me what it means to show up, give your best, and be willing to take one for the team when it matters most. Proving that together, sí se puede. To my children, thank you for sharing your mom with the families and the scholars that we serve. Your patience and your understanding means more to me than you'll ever know. And above all, to my husband, my rock. Thank you for always uplifting me, believing in me, and standing beside me every step of the way. I could not do this without you. I am deeply grateful for the principals, the mentors, and the colleagues who have poured into me, challenged me, and helped shape my growth. I carry each of you with me into this new chapter. I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity to serve Bing Wong Elementary and its amazing community. I commit to leading with compassion, integrity, and humility. I promise to uphold an equity lens in all that I do, to advocate fiercely for our English learners, our students with disabilities, and our African American scholars, and to work intentionally to remove barriers so teachers feel supported, families empowered, and scholars seen, valued, and capable of amazing things, successes. My goal is simple: to be an extension of my principal, carrying out her vision by leading with my heart together building strong systems, strong relationships, and a strong belief in every child's potential. Thank you again for this honor, my husband, my children, and I look forward to serving Bing Wong Elementary School together as a family alongside the incredible community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and congratulations. We look forward to the great work that you will be doing over there at Bing Wong. Awesome. Sorry, I lost my place here. 5.2, petition to expunge, rescind, sealing of records, or modify youth court or expulsion. Do I have a motion?
Move.
Moved by Mr. Tillman, second by Mr. Santos. Vote, please. You need me to call out verbal? Yeah, no worries. Mr. Santos?
Aye.
Dr. Wyatt? Ms. Abeles Grande? Mr. Tillman?
Aye.
Ms. Medina? And Mrs. Alexander?
Aye.
Aye. Looks like motion carries. Be it resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the expulsion and/or youth court modification, expungement, or rescinding of the following students with the identification numbers as indicated to schools of the San Bernardino City Unified School District in accordance with the board rules and regulations and in compliance with Ed Code Section 48900. 5.3, student recommended for expulsion, excluding mandatory offenses, but remanded to youth court for other means of correction. Can I get a motion?
Move.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Tillman, second by Mrs. Alexander. And then I will continue to call them verbally. Mr. Santos? Dr. Wyatt? Ms. Aviles? Mr. Tillman?
Aye.
Ms. Medina?
Aye.
And Mrs. Alexander? And I, myself as well. Motion carries. Be it resolved, the Board of Education accepts and adopts the recommendation and findings of facts of positive youth development and orders the suspension or expulsion of the following students with the identification number as listed in accordance with board rules and regulations and in compliance with Ed Code Section 48900.
Move.
Nope, that was the one I just read. 5.4, readmit of expulsion of students. That one.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Tillman, second by Mrs. Alexander. Vote, please. Mr. Santos? Dr. Wyatt? Ms. Zabalas? Mr. Tillman? Ms. Medina?
Aye.
Mrs. Alexander? And aye. Motion carries. Be it resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the readmission of the following students with ID numbers as indicated to schools of the San Bernardino City Unified School District in accordance with board rules and regulations and in compliance with Ed Code Section 48900.
Move.
No, sorry, hold on. And my screen just went black. Okay, I'll just continue. 5.5. HR-class-25-26-03ER. Can I have a motion?
Move.
Moved by Mr. Tillman, second by Mr. Santos. And can I get a verbal?
Aye.
Oh, it's working for them? Okay, so just aye for myself. All right, motion carries. 5.6, HR-class-25-26-04ER. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Alexander and second by Mr. Tillman. Vote, please. Aye. Motion carries. 5.7, HR-CERT-25-26-01ER. Do I have a motion?
Moved.
Can I get a
Second.
Moved by Mr. Tillman, second by Dr. Wyatt. Vote, please. Aye. Motion carries. 6.0 student board member, 6.1 reports and comments. And I'll go ahead and start with Mr. Hurtado.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. I would first like to pay my respect for school crossing guards as they help guide students each day before and after school. Thank you for your commitment and dedication as each day passes for our students. Now, with some school updates, first off from Pacific High School, as they invite the community to the Biomedical Building grand opening ceremony on Thursday, February 12th at 9:30 a.m. This building celebrates the full completion of the Biomed Building, which houses one of our most influential pathways known as the Project Lead the Way pathway, which helps students gain hands-on experience within the medical field, which has pushed many students to go into this field after they graduate high school. Next, for San Bernardino High School, congratulations to boys basketball, soccer, and wrestling, and girls basketball and water polo on their MVL championships. Next, from Indian Springs High School, opened the counselor's closet this month, where students could go during lunch and pick out clothes that they may like for free, along with other small things such as beanies, jewelry, nail polish, and shoes. This program creates support for those who need it the most. That'll be all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hurtado. Next up, Mr. Jones.
Hello, everyone. Hope you all are doing well. I have a few people I would like to express my gratitude to tonight. First off, I would like to thank our board member, Mrs. Alexander, and then her husband, Mr. Alexander, as they're both currently helping me with the Botillion Knight Scholarship Program, as well as our San Bernardino County board member, Dr. Rogers, and her husband, Dr. Rogers, as well. All four of them have all equally helped me, as well as Dr. Rodriguez. Even though I did join a little bit late, they still are doing their best to make sure that I get enough ads. And Mr. Tillman also expressed that he was willing to help me as well. So I appreciate everybody who's willing to help me and get what's needed throughout that. So that right there is for my gratitude. My school currently just finished our winter formal dance about a week ago. We also have had one of our girls for CIF flag football was given a certificate by our supervisor, Joe Baca Jr. So that was another thing that I've noticed around in our school. We are also Saturday school is something that's been going on for our students, and a lot of students have been attending. We had a pretty high attendance with that, and a lot of students are able to get their work done for the days that they've missed. Currently at Arroyo Valley High School, they just recently celebrated the Athletes of the Month over there. So that's very important, as we like to, appreciate our athletes for the hard time that they put, as well as keeping up with their academics over there. The winter formal's coming up for them as well, and the auditions for a play that they have that is called James and the Giant Peach. The school is also going and visiting the middle schools around for their AVIDS program to recruit. Then when it goes on to Cajon High School, they just had their first rally since the new gym renovation, so they would like to thank you guys for that. Also, they have a new portable classroom that will host the EXL for the Safe Closet, and ASB just gave the School of the State address where they highlighted key moments of last semester, and they are doing their best to lower the tardy rate. This month, we currently had no Slack meetings, but they switched it out for 2 field trips, so thank you guys for your time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Jones. Up next, Mr. Delgado.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Aiden Hurtado. I'm a junior at Cohen High School, but I'm proud to represent Sierra and San Andreas High School. I'd first like to start by thanking everyone from Sierra and San Andreas for being so accompanying and giving me the opportunity to really experience what life is like on their campus, even though I'm not a student over there. I'd like to begin by recognizing Sierra High School for an outstanding achievement. Sierra's counseling program has recently received its second RAMP award, officially recognized under the ASCA national model. Sierra was the first high school in our district to earn this designation, and receiving it a second time speaks volumes about the consistency and impact of their work. This recognition reflects a comprehensive, data-driven counseling program that supports students academically, socially, and emotionally, and it remains valid for the next 5 years. It is a powerful example of what intentional, student-centered support looks like. At San Andreas High School, students continue to benefit from opportunities that connect them with life beyond the classroom. Every day, they're being taught new and exciting experiences that's going to help them in their personal lives and in their career lives for years to come. They recently have been looking into their graduating class, preparing them for job applications and for college admissions, as well as helping them with financial aid and scholarship grants. Middle College High School has also had a lot of activity and a successful week. Last week, the school held its awards assembly, recognizing students for their academic achievement, growth, and perseverance. Middle College is currently selling tickets for their upcoming True Hearts Dance, providing students with a chance to build community and school spirit. In addition, the campus is preparing for an upcoming blood drive, giving students the opportunity to serve others and make a meaningful contribution to the broader community. These moments really reflect more than an individual events. They show a district that prioritizes the opportunity for equity and student voice. Thank you for allowing me to share this opportunity with all of you this evening. It's an honor to represent these schools and to highlight the incredible work that's happening across SBC USD.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Hurtado. Up next, we have 7.0 Administrative Reports and Presentations, 7.1 Special Education Presentation. I will go ahead and turn it over to Mrs. Applegate.
Thank you, President Ceballos. Good evening, President Ceballos, Vice President Aviles Grande, Board, our Superintendent, Mr. Arellano, Cabinet, and our viewing membership, our viewing audience, I should say. Tonight, I'm extremely proud to bring our Special Education Department, the rock stars that we have in Ed Services under Dr. Rubio's leadership. Board, last year, they gave you a very extensive, comprehensive overview of programs and services. Tonight, Dr. Rubio is going to bring you some current information on trends in special education. We're going to take a look at some data, and then we'll finish off with some wonderful community events that they've been involved with. So without further ado, I'll hand it over to Dr. Rubio.
Good evening, Board. President Ceballos and Vice President Aviles Grande. Board members, student board members, thank you. Superintendent Arellano and Cabinet, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to be here tonight to speak to you and to give you some information like Ms. Applegate just indicated. I just want you to know that I am honored to be in this position to support such an outstanding department that is committed to supporting students. And so I just want to take a moment as I breathe to thank my colleagues that are here in the audience. And I know I have many more from our department that are at home and watching. And just want to, I'm doing everything that I do in this position is to honor the work that's happening in our department, in our classrooms as well, and teachers, and supporting our students. And so we've been very committed to putting together a great presentation for you all that will give you some good information, just an accurate measure of where we are, current state. And as always, my team and I are ready to answer any questions you might have once we get through the presentation. So yes, our overview, and then just some highlights that we're going to share with you. I want to start by giving you some statistics. So we know our place in the state of California and in the country. We know that we are the largest single district SELPA in the largest county in the country. And so when you look at the information here, the first two bullets on the left are talking about just kind of students with disabilities numbers nationwide. And so when you see the bar graph, the green information is what we're looking at, that for students that are ages 5 to 21, in the 23-24 school year, there were about 7.3 million, or 15% of students with disabilities in schools across the nation. And when you look at California, we had about 850,000 students with disabilities. So in 23-24, about 14.6%. But then when you look at the next year, we increased to 865,000. So there was a bigger increase in about 16.07%. So that's the information for the state. And so now for our SELPA and for our district, students with disabilities enrolled in the last 3 years, the same time that the data was shown before, we've increased our enrollment almost by 1,000 students. So I know our district and other districts are declining enrollment, but our department continues to thrive and continues to support the outstanding students we serve. When you look at our student populations by subgroup, on the right side is our department, and it very closely aligns with what our overall district makeup is. So we're excited for that. In this slide right here, I just have some notes that I want to make sure that we are looking at providing you. So as a SELPA, we have a strong dedication to monitoring the number of students in our programs and the ones that are in the process of becoming eligible. So when you look right here, we have 8,186 students that are already eligible and are receiving services. But in the breakdown in the chart below, you see that there's 607 students. Now, this is not as of today. This was in preparation for this, but these numbers are relatively accurate to what we are experiencing right now. So when you look at what we have, 284 students are pending eligible. So that means it's a testament and a testimony to the great MTSS work that's happening in our district, at our schools, in our elementary schools. They're providing targeted intervention, and when students are continuing to not show growth, then the site teams are meeting and are giving information to see when would be an appropriate time for a referral. Middle school, still doing the same thing. High schools as well, doing the same thing. So that's the number of students. And when it comes to our private schools, we are committed to, they're a part of our SELPA, Special Education Local Plan area. So you know that they are in an area that we are responsible for making sure that they also, Child Find is also happening, and that they are being assessed and being supported as needed. For our private schools, just looking at the information today with my team, it's actually 29 students as of today. And so we are supporting them with, for the private schools, we have 3 school psychologists rotating through to support and do the evaluations for those students. And so for those schools that they're supporting, the private schools, we offer them virtual SLP services. And then for the charter schools, we have one that we support. And so we are just really making sure that they're supported as well. Thanks for doing that. So this next slide right here is going to be information for you that looks at the number of students that we've had in our program that have just from August to December. So when I reference this group of professionals here and the people that are watching in our department, this is what we do. We're supporting the work happening there. So for students receiving RSP support services, 336, 86, 55, and then just the bigger number up there obviously is our speech number of students that have grown in just this far in the school year. What's not up here is when we're preparing for this, we have also had about 550 students that have come from outside the district with IEPs already. And those are what we would call interim IEPs, and so we've supported that. But then over the course of the year, we've also had about 150 students leave our district with IEPs. So it's a fluctuating number, but again, it's just an indicator for you to know that there's a lot of movement, a lot of growth happening in our department.
Let me just pause you real quick, Mr. Tillman.
mentioned we have students from outside our district that come to us with IEPs. What does that mean?
So if a student maybe lives in like Los Angeles Unified, they have an IEP from there, they come here, and then we're responsible for getting their needs and having an interim IEP to make sure that we're following the IEP that they came
So
with.
they're now our student.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. So now we're going to dig a little deeper into our instructional programs. And so this is a lot of information. As you well know, there are a lot of schools in our district. So we've broken it down for you by cluster. And so when you look, the columns are the clusters. And then we have the 3 bands, the top band for RSP. This is the number of school sites and teachers that have, and number of students that have RSP support. So that information is there for you. As is the diverse nature of our city, there's a lot of different, numbers of students in different areas. So for RSP, those are the numbers. When you look at the middle band, mild to moderate support needs, those are the sites that have those programs and the number of teachers and students that they have in their caseload. And the bottom is our extensive support needs. And those are the sites that have those and how many classrooms and how many students they support. So this is all at the elementary level. Same thing for middle school, but some of the off colors you see on the Hope side, Rodriguez Middle School, their numbers are in blue all the way down. So same thing, bands of RSP students, the number of teachers, students, and then we also added Golden Valley, Richardson, and King in blue. Here's the high school information. Same format, just different numbers, looking at how we support. And as I stated last year, and as I continue to indicate and reference that our program specialists in our department, they go out and they have their fingerprints in every one of these classrooms. They support the RSP teachers. They support our mild mod support needs teachers and our extensive support. So we take it very seriously that our students at the school sites are a priority, just like the principals, just like the teachers, but our dedicated department does the same thing. In looking at the alternative education settings, I just want to key in on some things right there. So when you look at what we have, we know that our board members, you have asked what are information about non-public school students. And I want you to know that every student that is away from our district that we send to a non-public school, on a regular basis, we are committed to making sure and constantly monitoring them. We have a program specialist who supports the students that are out, and we are constantly looking at when they can, what their scenario is, can they come back, when would be a good time for them to come back, and what supports are in place, and what is happening where they are, and can we service their needs here. So it's never a, okay, good, that kid's over there, we're okay with that. We want to bring our students back and service them here. And so when you see the number 8 successfully exited, it should be returned to our, not exiting services, but returned to our district. The next column, or the next box, we talk about Sierra Non-Public School. We have a contract with them, and they are at our Anderson campus, and they have 10 students, and they are doing great work for our students there to keep the local students in our district here being serviced in our district. We know the California School for the Deaf in Riverside. We have 21 students there, and that's a great thing. They're doing great things for those students, that population. We have 14 students in county. Just knowing that those are unique circumstances, as you well know, and we're still supporting them and making sure that they go with IEPs, students that are maybe expelled or going through that process, that they go with IEPs that are completed. We don't have any students currently in a residential setting, but we have 2. And that is a unique population of students to support with the mental health needs and challenges that they face and the family support. So we have 2 students going through that process and probably a few more by the end of the school year. But again, just we're meeting students where they are and giving them the support they need. Right now for home and hospital, we have 28 students there. We have about 25 teachers who are supporting them, providing those students with 5 hours of total hours of service each week. And so that's just something that our team is committed to supporting as well. We work closely with our virtual academy to support our students there. And then our adult transition at Anderson and the ICEC, those are students that are, they are moving and looking at how they can contribute later on. So they're getting services and support to make sure that they're prepared for the best quality life that they can. And then we have our subacute students, very vulnerable. They make up the group in the home hospital, but they are very vulnerable. And we know that, and I know you all know that. And many of you have been there and supported that work there. So those are the numbers for our alternative education settings. So this is something, our Inspire programs, that our department has developed. And this is along the same heart that I'm sharing about our commitment to students and giving them what they need, what they deserve, and just giving them, meeting them where they are. So on the left side, you see in green, we have two sites hosting 3 of our autism programs. So, and this is at the elementary level. And so you all know, you've heard people have spoken to you about the significant behavior needs of some of our younger students. And so instead of sending them to a non-public school or giving them, you're just going to keep getting referral after referral after referral, we have set up this program where these students at Arrowhead, we have the one classroom there in TKK, there's 6 kids. And if you were to walk into that classroom, you would see the teacher and the classroom support providing them with structure, providing them with expectations, treating them with the right approach so that they are not sent off and reacted to. They are dealt with appropriately. And so same thing at Urbita, we have those 2 classrooms there in primary and in upper grade. And again, I'm visiting those classes. You're going to see things you might not typically see in some of our other classrooms, but you're going to see staff that are committed to making sure that they know the students' needs and they're interacting with them appropriately and giving them the right supports. And then the blue side over there for the non-autism. So we know our community. You know our community well. You serve them, as do we. And oftentimes we get students that are not necessarily autistic, but they have behaviors that make it challenging for the traditional classroom setting. And so we have those 2 classrooms at Mount Vernon. I know there was a recent visit, and we are very proud of the work happening there under Principal Alvarado's leadership. And so there's 7 students in the primary, 7 students in the upper grade, and we know that they are getting our behavior team of program specialists and our whole staff are committed to making sure that they are interacted with appropriately as well.
Mr. Rubio or Dr. Rubio, let me interrupt you. Ms. Grande?
I just have a quick question. On these particular classrooms, I just wondered, how many classroom assistants does a teacher have?
They have at least 1, if not 2, that we make sure, depending on the need, we want to make sure that the teacher can be supported. So now when we look at preschool, we know that our superintendent and our board, there's a strong commitment to making sure that early intervention is happening. And so for students in special education in the preschool age, this is information related to where our sites, the number of sites in our clusters that have the programs. And so when you see the inclusion component right there for Central City and West Side, those are our inclusion sites, or where we have up to 8 of our students with special needs, and they are in classrooms with state preschool. And so we're giving our students that we feel meet that criteria, would be best to serve them in that capacity, to give them that opportunity to be alongside their grade level peers so that they can be a part of that program and not just be in a separate setting. So that's the inclusion component, and that's just the information about our students at the different clusters. We are very proud of this statistic that we wanted to present to you. We have 173 early childhood assessment team assessments that have been completed up until January 16th. So of those 173, 86 came from Inland Regional Center, And the other ones were from search requests, a parent saying, hey, my student, I want to explore getting needs, my student evaluated. So we've done that, and we've also had early start, which is birth to 2 years, 9 months. And so we've had 5 of those assessments. So we're very responsive to parents. There is no wait list. If a parent has a child or we get a referral from IRC, they're moved along right away through the process. So here's a lot of information for you. It's been presented before, but this is the most current information. For our, when you hear related services, those are the other different ways that students are supported based on their disabilities or based on their eligibility. And so when you see the number of staff that we have, we've also provided you with information related to the number of contract staff to support the students. And so as a commitment to you all, I want you to know that my team and I are very committed to just looking at the current landscape, looking at what we are experiencing as a department. And if you look on the right side, second box down, speech and language pathologist, right? There's 89 of them, and we do have 13 under contract, providing some in person and some virtual. But we have 4,835 students that are receiving that. And so we have a coordinator committed that's dedicated to that for speech and related services. And this is it's a high priority to make sure that those students are getting their speech services met. But with that large number comes a lot of difficulties. So that's just a current state there. Other information here with what we have in terms of our staff.
Let me interrupt. Mr. Tillman?
We're at the questions page, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for the part of the presentation you've done already. You know, I think a lot of people aren't aware that a lot of the funding doesn't come from the federal government for these services. So when you look at the budget, it's a huge encroachment on the budget. And as it grows, it's kind of weird to me because they just pretend like the money's going to come from somewhere. But when you go to balance the budget, you really get scared because there isn't a direct correlation between a student gets identified and then special funding follows the student. That doesn't happen. So you have this cost that's ballooning. So I just hope that we look at ways of finding grants and making sure that the way we're spending the money is the most efficient way, because you can't take the approach that there's this endless pot of money, because it doesn't exist. So I just somehow, Mr. Ariano, we got to make sure we're always looking at finding ways to pay the bills and then work smarter without reducing the level of service the students are getting. But keep in mind that the funding is not there for a lot of these programs.
Thank you, Mr. Tillman. I'll come back, Mrs. Alexander. Mr. Jones?
So, not really like it could be a question for you, but someone else can answer it. So, for the non-autistic programs, are they being taught the same curriculum as an average student, or exactly how is that working?
Question.
You mean on this side, sir? Is that what
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, we're providing them access to their grade level curriculum, the standards and everything. But that's how our professionals come alongside and the teachers. They provide them with access to it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Alexander.
Thank you, Dr. Rubio, and your team for a great presentation. I had a question, and it's clarification. The related and psychological services, where we see a risk, particularly how you highlight speech and language, where we have a need, but we only have a contract for 13. How does that spill into how we support charter schools? Because there are some charter schools that benefit from our services, or they pay for them, correct?
Yes, ma'am. And so in looking at, so when you see the contract, so that's basically our virtual services. That's what we're using to provide our charter schools with that service. But as my team and I are working at looking to increase the number of SLPs so that if we had we would prefer not to have virtual, but we would like to do that so that we could support them. Yes.
Okay. So thank you for that. Just to unpack the risks that you highlighted, though, how are we addressing that related to speech and language pathologists?
So as you know, we have a hard cap of 55 students on our speech and language pathologist caseload. And so our coordinator, Arlene Dos Santos, is working with our team and really looking at, some of our SLPs are under caseload and others are over. And so as a commitment to the contract, we are making sure that, we're in constant flux. She's never comfortable. If you see her, she's not always, she sees it and she lives it. And so we are just looking at doing everything we can. And we are working with Ann Applegate and Cabinet to when we have the need, this is what our request is. So we're doing everything. But in what Board Member Tillman was talking about, I agree, sir. We recognize that it's a lot. You have us in our positions because you want us to do the work, and we see the work, and so we agree. And that's why working with our assistant superintendent and Cabinet, that's what we wanted. We're in constant preparation for, hey, this is the current state, but we see this on the horizon. So that is what we're doing. We're doing everything we can to prepare.
Thank you.
Ms. Medina?
I also want to recognize the fact that our district has been ahead of the game when it comes to the funding portion. And because of that, many of our children have opportunities that they probably wouldn't have had in other school districts. And we've also had other school districts come to actually see what we're doing here compared to what, the deficiencies are happening over there. And I know that, basically the resources is what the students need in order to because they have a high potential as well. They just need that extra support. And I'm really proud of our district because we have made the effort to bring in the funds necessary. I know, as it was mentioned, it does cost a lot of money, but at the same time, I think our students are worth investing and providing those extra resources. So they themselves become successful. Many students are able to go to college. Many students are able to have successful careers as well. Because we're able to provide those avenues of support. So I really do want to say thank you to the whole department, everyone here, and everyone at the school sites as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Medina. Ms. Avalos?
I first of all, I want to thank you for all of this. As usual, you make it so clear and understandable, and it's just great. I just love this because I understand it. It's great. Also, I want to give you kudos to go back for a minute to non-public schools where we have 45 students and 8 successfully exited. That's huge. And it's exactly what I've been hoping for and wanted to see because it's really shocking when we first find out exactly how much that costs. I think there was a number a year or two ago, there was something like $60 million on a handful of students. I'm not sure exactly, but I do know that is a huge savings if you were able to bring 8 back home. So what can we expect to see in the future? Any more of that kind of news?
Absolutely. We're committed. Just today, our coordinator of psych services and I and our program specialist for non-public schools, we're meeting with the leadership of Sierra and looking at trying to have continue to enhance and grow our program so that our students are being serviced right here in San Bernardino.
Excellent. Thank you.
So I'm about halfway through, and I just wanted to pause there for you if there's any, but please keep the questions coming. We're ready. So in looking at the dashboard, so we also, you've heard me mention that we are committed to monitoring our IEPs and monitoring our program. So we also monitor the dashboard, and these are just some of the things that we're held accountable to monitor and support. And so I know this presentation was given to you in December, so we just wanted to highlight some information you've already seen, but just looking at our students with disabilities, here's information on the upward growth. Obviously, our superintendent has been very vocal and very gracious with highlighting the arrows and the colors and the green and the direction they're going. So for our 4-year cohort graduate students with disability, in the last 3 years, up 9.6%. Cohort for grads meeting A to G, students with disabilities over 3 years, up 6.7%. College and career readiness by program, a pretty intricate metric, and a lot of things go into it. Students with disabilities, up 3.8% in the last 3 years. When you're looking at ELA, and on the far left side is our district, plus 2.8%. Again, trending in the right direction. We want to see bigger growth, obviously, but for elementary school in the last 3 years, we're right kind of just there. And so knowing how many elementary schools we have and what our program specialists are doing, how we break our program specialists up to be in the clusters, that's just something that we're constantly targeting. Looking at our middle schools, up 1.6%. Comprehensive high schools, 2.6%, and continuation up. So you all see that data, you see that number, and that's just, you know, reminding you that we are monitoring what our students, how they're performing and what we can do to help them excel. For math, same thing. Elementary, again, took that little, not quite level, just went down a little bit, 1.2 over the last 3 years, but we're putting together a plan. And for middle school, almost a 1% growth over 3 years. And then the same too as well for comprehensive and continuation. So it's not lost on us. We're going to continue to work and do everything we can. I know this is small, but I just wanted you to see that our coordinator of data and compliance, we provide this monthly to principals, and the school name is on the left, and then it says overdue initials, overdue plan reviews, and overdue eligibility evaluation. And so every month we provide this information to principals so that they can see how their case carriers, how their teachers are doing on their campuses. The next two columns are unaffirmed amendments and unsigned amendments. And then that's just the number of students and just giving them a percentage, right? We know principals are very passionate about the schools they serve. And so we want to give them that information so that they can see what areas of need are on their campus. And then, you know, we help them, and our program specialists help them move forward. As a SELPA, so being so large with how many students we serve, I'm very proud of the work that our team does. Last year, we had 1 CDE complaint. I know other districts in other areas, they have some more, some less, but that's where we are. We're committed to alternative dispute resolution in this district. So what that means for us is that if there's a parent that's in a disagreement with an IEP at their school site, we have a process for them to be referred to our team, and we bring them here and we try to resolve it. We try to give them a second ear and really try and work through things and come up with agreements so that it's benefiting the student, it's honoring the work of the site, and we're really trying to just be successful with that. I have more on that in the next slide, but OAH hearings, due process, gone down so far. This is only thus far, but I know that we do have the one settlement that we've been working with you on. So we're glad that that's less this year. And this is the information that we have for that. And as I mentioned a moment ago, ADR it's really at work for parents here in our district. Out of the 14 ADRs that we've supported and worked through, none of them have been they've been resolved, and none of them wanted to disagree with what our offers have been, and they haven't filed for OH or CD complaints. I know we just had questions, but at this point, any more questions on those last few slides?
I have a question.
Okay.
Just on this previous slide that you just did, where you talk about the CD complaints, what were the complaints? What was the nature of the complaints?
It's typically whether or not the IEP was fully implemented at the school site. I mean, there's a myriad of options that may have happened from not having a one-to-one, or if a request was made.
I'm sorry. I'm not asking like what the range of the complaints could be. I'm asking like what were those 3 complaints? What was the nature of those 3? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, it's okay. That's what. So when there's if I get them, I see my email right now. The ones that we get, there's their disagreement with what something that happened or didn't happen, and so when that's the case, they file, and then we use our attorney and we match it, and then we try to resolve it.
And does the complaint mean that that it was founded, or it's just a complaint?
It's a great question, and so I guess it depends on the unique circumstance of each one. But for the most part, if they went forward, they got an attorney and they did a formal filing, we have the option to either address that and resolve it through an agreement, or take it to due process. And again, our commitment is to not prolong it. So the answer, I guess the short answer is yes, there's typically issues that's what's driven them to do that. But it's typically happened at the school sites. So we know we have a large number of newer administrators, many nuanced cases in our district and our community we serve. So if it does come to that point, we do address it.
And Dr. Rubio, if I might add, when it gets to that point, when it's goes to the state of California, they will look at it too, and they will send it back to us and decide whether it's being upheld or not. They'll tell us this is a found complaint, maybe not in compliance in a certain area, and they tell us then what the resolution is. But they'll usually rule on it too.
Understood. Thank you. And then I did have another question that I wanted to ask earlier, and then we just kind of moved on. So let me ask now. In regards to, I just forgot. I'll come back. Dr. Wyatt?
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you, Dr. Rubio, always for the great job that you and your team do. I noticed on the ADRs that you held, the 14, they resulted in 0 OH or CDE complaints, which is awesome, by the way. But on the previous page, I think it said we had 9. So those 9 that are on there, did they not go through ADR? Is that what happened?
Yes, sir.
Did we try, you know?
Sometimes they have. I mean, we can look at specifically, each case, but for the most part, if they come to us, or if we're contacted, we try to solve it and resolve it. But if sometimes they go around us, and
that's, as you know, it's really near and dear to my heart, because
yes, sir,
that was something I brought here. But as you can see, it's very successful.
Yes, sir.
So I'm just wondering how, and this is a question for all of us, how do we work with the other 9 families and try to get them to the table and let them know that we're going to do an outstanding job for their child? We just have to sit down and talk about it. So yeah, it'd be interesting to find out, though. Thank you.
In response to that, sir, it's our dedication to providing parents with information. When we have our CAC meetings, we give information. We invite parents to come and ask questions. It's a part of our overall rollout of parent engagement, so that they know their rights, they know the rules, they know what we're following.
Is this sometimes maybe advocate driven? I mean, I know probably the answer to that, so I won't have you answer that, Dr. Rubio. I'll say yes, I'm sure it is, but no, then we need to work with them, as you probably know as well, and let us do our job. Now, I don't think it's that we don't want to, it's just give us an opportunity. We know we make mistakes, we might miss something, but if we all come to the table, that's what's going to happen. So
yeah, as managers, we are, if a parent has an advocate or a parent has an attorney, that doesn't deter us. We are in our position so that we can help families, help students, and so we work with advocates, we work with attorneys. We're good. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I remembered my question. Earlier, when you started the presentation, you were giving us the number of, those on an IEP and so forth. I wanted to ask, do we have any data, because you didn't mention anything, do we have any data collected as to how many are parent requests versus how many are sites/team referrals?
Parent requests, I'm trying to find which slide that one was.
No, it's not on your slide.
Okay, so yeah, so like which ones are parent requests?
Do we have like data? Do you have information? And you don't have to have it with you now, but I'm wondering if we're collecting data that shows, how many of those are parent requests versus how many of those are, and then, out of those, how many move on to actually meet eligibility versus not? I'm just curious.
It's a great question. No, it's a great question. So yeah, I don't have that information. I'll get with my team and see if we're keeping track of that specific. But typically we work with site principals that if we get a parent request, we immediately respond. We get the school psychologist involved. They contact the parent. But then whether or not the student is in the MTSS process, that does not absolve us from responding and whether moving forward with assessment or acting accordingly. So MTSS is a route, and what we can do is we can talk to the parent and say, hey, this site has a robust MTSS. This is what they do. This is what we have. Because a lot of times if parents are not aware of what the school is doing. I just want my kid assessed. I want to see if they, and that's fine. Parents they want what they want. They know what they know. But if so many of our sites have that MTSS where, hey, we can put your student getting targeted intervention for 6 weeks. We're going to give them this test to begin, see how they progress, and monitor them, and then do it again, even if that was needed. So we can talk to them and give them that information, but that's not a, hey, no, we can't move on this request because they're in the MTSS. We don't do that. We provide that, but I can get with my team and we can provide you with on a Friday update to the board if there's data that we have tracking the number of just outright parent requests.
That would be great. With both, right? Parent requests versus site referrals, and then how many of those actually move forward with assessment, and then out of those assessed, how many actually qualify for both tracks.
And how many do not qualify, right? That's great
Yeah.
data. And just to see, and I know that our coordinator of psych services, Beverly, we are monitoring that and making sure that we are digging deep enough in our child find obligation to make sure that, this kid's kind of on the bubble, that we don't need to worry about them. We're really digging deep, and we do have a healthy do not qualify rate.
Thank you.
So we're just rounding the corner. I'm almost finished. We're here. Just want to let you know that our team, our department is committed to providing professional development to our teachers, making sure that there's a lot of options, as you can see in these two flyers, and just really giving them information to how we can just really support them with the great things that are happening. And so now just transitioning over to just the community outreach. You've seen this slide before. We have our CAC board they were just just elected last year, so they'll be with us for this year and next year. And so very excited for this partnership with Special Olympics of Southern California. Becoming a unified district is a great accomplishment. We're on our way. This is information for you to know that the partnership is alive and well and thriving. And here's some information about it and some school information related to schools. We have the high schools and one elementary school that are working with Special Olympics to be unified PE. And you can see on the right side, our goals are really to have all of our high schools. We're already on track for the last high school to be site principal at that high school is already committed to making sure that we're having that next year. So we'll update that next year. But just really having it be across more and more schools. And you can see our 2-year goal is to become a unified champion school district. And so that partnership is alive and well and thriving. And then I think in November, we had our unified program working with CIF. And so San Bernardino and Pacific High Schools had students participate in a flag football tournament. And it was just an outstanding event where you see on the field are 2 general education students and 3 special needs students, and they're playing flag football. And it was so great for my team and I and the staff to go and be a part of that. And they're playing schools from San Diego, up in the Bay Area, Los Angeles. There's a lot of things happening with that, and it was just great to see. And San Bernardino and Pacific are also doing the schools where they're doing track and field. So we're excited about that.
Mr. Tillman?
Just for, you said incoming CAC board, but you don't say what the acronym stands for. What is CAC?
Thank you, sir. I'm sorry for that. Community Advisory Council. It's the special education parents. They come and it's one of our parent advisory boards, and they have an election, and they are receiving training and just different parent meetings that we offer.
Ms. Abeles?
I know, thank you. That, is like really close to my heart. You make me get emotional. Very happy to see that progress, very happy. And it does bring up something else too I've been meaning to ask you. I know several years ago, it was very much a part, Anderson was very much a part of the Special Olympics of Southern California, really, and for the longest time. And then it went away. And at the end, I recall the story I heard is that Anderson took it over and started making Anderson Special Olympics. And our high schools sent kids, they bussed them over there, and that's when I was working there. And it was glorious because there was a swimming pool there from the CID, so they had swimming, they had track, they had races. There was a torch, you know, they this flame at the beginning. It was all, it wasn't a real flame. It was just wind. It was wind and all of that. And the parents came out, school came out. It was a really big event. And then it gradually ended, and it moved over to Cajon, I think, one of the others, where they started doing it. And so it just kind of se fundió, you know what I mean? And so it just went out. And so I'm just wondering, if there's any way, I understand Anderson is now a training or a transition center. Is there any way that those students there can still be a part of it, you know? And then now I understand we do have 2 county classes there too, and I understand that they are kept apart. That saddens me. They're not allowed to interact, or they have to stay in their own lane, if you will. It's kind of sad because it is a very wide open space. But now the teachers have to sign up to use the track because they might bump into the others. That doesn't bespeak well, I think, of our school to do that. But my question is, I have a question in there, if there's any way that they could participate in some way, manner, shape, or form. That's all.
Who specifically?
Anderson
Yeah.
School, they still have the children there. It's just now they are considered transition. They're the same children that were there 5 years ago, 10 years, the same children. But the school's much smaller. You know, it used to have 120. I think it has half that maybe. But if there's any way that they could participate in somehow in this, that's the only thing.
Thank you. Yeah, we still have the Anderson Olympics, and we still, we're moving because it's gotten so big that we now use the high schools and the tracks, and so we don't have the pool for CIP, but we are still continuing to do that. It's one of the slides that you'll see in the slideshow in a moment. But yeah, no, thank you for that. We know you're passionate about Anderson and all things related to that, so we'll definitely get you an update on that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Jones, go ahead.
I just had a quick question. So for the Special Olympics, how long have we been a part of that exactly with the partnership with them?
It's just starting, sir.
Okay.
We're gaining ground and gaining steam. We meet with them regularly,
Okay.
and we have in February we have a training, or this month we have a training to really strengthen the support and involvement at the middle schools. So it's just at the beginning stages.
Okay, thank you. Because I was just a little confused on why every high school wasn't involved. So I just wanted to get a clarifying answer from you. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that was it was just circumstantially looking at all the makeup of what happened. But next year I got confirmation from the principal the last one that they're going to be participating. And this was some of the pictures. Scott Smith and I were there and supporting the great teams that were participating. The center picture says it all. Seeing that young man score a touchdown, it was good. I can hear the sound, but it's great. All great things happening there with that. And then this is the end of it, everybody. We just have a slideshow for you. End of my presentation, colleagues. Is there any other questions or anything needed?
Yes, we have Ms. Medina.
Again, I just want to say thank you for the presentation, really good information, and I know that the district is working hard, the department's working hard to make sure that all of our students are successful. I am curious though, because I know that there's students that, you know, twice exceptional students that have capabilities on, you know, they're both spectrums, and you see these, you know, when it comes to like the superheroes, and I think many of our students have great abilities, great talents. They're gifted, and I wish there was a way where we can. And I know I spoke in many years ago with Dr. David Van Strelen, who we were actually looking at how do we create like an academy for students who need that extra support, but that are really gifted and talented. You know, it could be either through music, it could be through arts, mathematics, or all these other areas. Now I know that, you know, there needs to be a budget for it, but just something to think about. If there's even a possibility to try to, you know, students that don't necessarily fit in a traditional classroom, but are able to thrive with other students who are also have great talents and gifts.
I appreciate you saying that. And I just want you to know that with the collective leadership that we have in our department, that things like that are an option. They will be explored. I didn't include it in my presentation, but when you mentioned the brilliance that we have, that our students have, we are putting together an event, a brilliance showcase. And so you'll be getting information for that coming up. It's going to be on April 30th this year, and it's going to be at the Indian Springs High School Theater. And we're right now working with different teachers that, you know, for students that show any interest in any kind of 5 genres of artwork and performing arts or anything like that, so that they have a night where they can do that, whether it's lip syncing to a song with by themselves or with someone, or if they want to take a video of themselves doing that. But we want to honor the great things happening in our students and their capabilities. And so we're going to honor their brilliance.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And just, you know, lastly too, I just want to say thank you so much for the presentation and so much for all the work that you do. I know that I have taken some time myself with my team in the district that I work to come and visit some of the classrooms. And I just want to say thank you for opening the door to us, first of all. And, you know, just really being able to show what we have, because we have so much. You guys do such a wonderful job with the resources and, you know, everything that you provide, not only the students, but also the teachers, staff, you know, the support. And, you know, we're very fortunate. There's a lot of school districts that don't have all of the things that we do have here. And so just thank you for also being so open and willing to share, you know, that with myself and other colleagues. Also, I just want to say I receive students from this district where I work. You know, some of the students transfer to my area, to my school. I have seen reports personally from students that have come from this side. I've seen, you know, goals of the students and also where they are, and they come to us and I'm like, wow, you know your stuff. Like the kids come knowing their stuff. And so I just really want to praise and commend all the work that you guys do, because it shows, and I'm really proud whenever I see that. So thank you so much. With that being said, thank you so much and have a wonderful night. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, team.
All right. We are going to go ahead and move on to 8.0 action items. 8.1 personnel report. Personnel report number 14, dated February 3rd, 2026, which contains actions such as hiring, retirements, resignations, promotions, and terminations.
As presented.
So moved.
Second. Thank you. Moved by Mr. Tillman, second by Ms. Medina. Vote, please. Mr. Delgado?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Hurtado?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. 8.2, amendment number 1 to the resolution of district emergency district alarm system bid deficiency.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Tillman, second by Mr. Santos. Vote, please. Mr. Delgado?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Hurtado?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. 8.3, approval of the Career Technical Education Advisory Committee. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Tillman, second by Mr. Santos. Vote, please. Mr. Delgado?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Hurtado?
Aye.
Thank you.
And since my computer is down, I'm aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. 9.0, consent items. 9.1, approval of consent list.
So moved.
Thank you. Moved by Mr. Tillman, second by Mr. Santos. Are there any items to be pulled? All right. Oh, do you pull anything? No. Okay, vote please. Mr. Delgado?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Hurtado?
Aye.
Thank you. And Ms. Medina, is it back up? Okay.
Oh, but I'm on my phone, on the agenda on my phone, so I'm fine. Aye.
Thank you. Pass it over. The motion carries. Carries. 10.0, reports and comments by union organizations. 10.1, San Bernardino Teachers Association.
No report.
10.2, California School Employees Association.
No report.
10.3, Communication Workers of America.
No report.
And 10.4, San Bernardino School Police Officers Association.
No report.
Thank you. 11.0, mandated policy revisions. 11.1, approval. Actually, 11.1, approval and adoption of Board Policy 5145.3, gender identity and non-discrimination.
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Medina, second by Mr. Tillman. Vote, please.
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. Delgado?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Hurtado?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. 12.0, reports and comments. 12.1, report, board members. Can I get a volunteer? Mr. Tillman?
I received an inquiry the other day that said that we have a policy that if a student tests positive for drug use, that they get a lifetime ban where they can't participate in sports. And I didn't know we had that policy. And the drug policy, for the most part, was supposed to be an incentive to try to encourage students not to use drugs. But the incentive, to me, doesn't work if you tell a student that because they tested positive twice, that for the rest of their time in school, they can't participate in sports. So I'm just looking for consensus to have that agendized so we can make a change to that policy. I think what it should say is, they say right now you can't participate in that sport. But for the next year, the students will be able to participate unless they test positive for drugs again in every subsequent year. But I don't think it ever should be a point where we say for the rest of the years in school, you can't participate in sports. So I'd like to get the consensus to agendize that so we can change the policy.
I'll go over Mrs. Alexander. Ms. Medina?
Yes, I'm sorry. I froze a little bit.
No, it's for consensus.
It's for consensus, yes.
Ms. Yep. Mr. Santos? Okay, there you go.
That's all my, well, I do want to say, I saw some students out protesting today, and I want to commend the district staff on following the students out. I think it's important that we try to provide as much safety as possible. Parents realizing that we're not telling students to walk off campus, but when they do leave campus, our primary goal is to ensure that they're safe. And I think it's a good idea that we send staff out there to ensure students are safe. I get really, really worried. I understand what the students are doing it and why they're doing it. It's just, our concern is for their safety. And there were a lot of kids on the corner close to the street, which really, really frightened me. But I know this is part of the decision that the students are making. So just want to encourage the parents to make sure they talk with their students about safety, because there's nothing more important than them being able to protest. But more important than that is to be able to go home safely after the protest. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tillman. Do I have another volunteer? Ms. Medina?
I completely agree with Mr. Tillman. I think I'm really proud of our district for providing those safety avenues for students who did decide to walk out, and ensuring that they were both safe, and as well as our staff and so forth. But at the end of the day, these are opportunities for students to learn about history, to learn about what's going on in government issues or so forth. And I think this is part of how we can bring it in within the curriculum of the day. So this is, for me, I'm just really proud that we were able to follow that. And with that, I did end up going to SBTA. They had a gathering at the Escape in Redlands, and I spoke with the owner of Escape, and they mentioned that they buy produce from San Andreas High School, and that they have 2 locations that they buy produce from our schools, as well as it was mentioned that other restaurants in Redlands that also purchase it, which is really nice to see how how beneficial other companies are benefiting from the stuff that our students are doing at the school site. So that was really nice to hear. And that's the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Alexander.
Sure. Well, I'd like to first say congratulations. Our family expanded, so we're super excited. My daughter, our daughter Collie, and her husband Trey Washington had a baby this morning. I feel like it was yesterday. A baby girl, and she is 7 pounds, 11 ounces, and 20.5 inches, and her name is Sasha Washington. So super excited. So congratulations to the Washington family. I wanted to comment on the students. While I was sitting in the labor room yesterday, I did have an opportunity to watch the council meeting. And I found it pretty interesting because there was a number of students from our district that exercised their voice. I'm not going to address what they were addressing because I'm not here to do that, or we're not here to do that. But I wanted to commend the students for exercising their voice and sharing how they felt about the current topic of discussion within our city. So I wanted to say, great job to the students that were out there, because there were students that I don't even think they were 18 yet. And with the very fact that they were aware of what was happening and exercising their voice, I commend them for that. And it's in alignment with what we see with the students that are protesting. I am seeing that. But just the very fact that our students are staying aware and they're comfortable with sharing how they feel, there's something to say about also the teachers or whoever is coaching them as well. So great job to the students. Secondly, I attended the spelling bee with Dr. Kumi. That's under the leadership of Dr. Venkatesan, under the leadership of Anna Applegate. Did a great job with the spelling bee. It was awesome. Congratulations to Keith Johnson, who is the second winner. I mean, this is his second year winning the spelling bee for our school district. But what stood out about the spelling bee that I don't know if we all know is a district spelling bee. By the time these students are competing against each other, they have won at their own individual sites. And we had students that were either in 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. So it was a diversity of students. And the greatest part of it all is that, you know, it was an opportunity for our students to come out, compete, but they're competing at the site level, and then they come together as a district level. Then from there, they go to the county level, and I believe they might even go to the state level. So the very fact that we have that opportunity, the only area that I would like to see, and I don't know how we can unpack on this, to have more schools participate. So if we can find out how many schools did participate in the spelling bee and what opportunity space we can do to make sure that that's something that we do on a district level, that would be great. Because what I did notice, it was only probably about 3 or 4 schools that were represented at this particular spelling bee. And then lastly, the AI Day, which was awesome. That was a collaboration between IT, family engagement, and I believe there's a new acronym for, is it AIT? AET? Yeah. And I just thought that that alone is a testimony of just what we're doing as a district, showcasing our efforts, making sure we're educating our families about AI, but really the speaker addressed the fact of the anxiety around AI and then unpacking it around how to really address it. How do we help our students along? How do we add it into our curriculum? But most importantly, being comfortable with it. And his name was Christopher Jackson, I believe, or Christian Jackson. And it was Dr. Rodriguez's organization. I know it was Anna Applegate's organization. And I believe we had one other organization. Terry, okay, Mr. Comnick's organization. So again, collaboration, because we can't do it all together. So I commend your organizations for bringing this all together and continuing to stay in alignment with our SHINE goals. And that's it.
Awesome, thank you. Mr. Santos?
Thank you. First, I had the opportunity to go to the AVID showcase at Kimbark Elementary School, which I thought was awesome. The students were awesome. Our instructors are awesome. You know, as someone who wants all our kids to go to college, starting at that at the elementary level and pushing all of the AVID curriculum, I think is an awesome thing. So that was a great learning experience for me at one of our great elementary schools. The other thing I have today is I want to ask for board consensus to bring up policy. It's really a status quo because currently it's for athletic directors. We currently have all our athletic directors right now are full-time, but looking at having a policy, a board policy that says all our athletic directors should be full-time. I think it's extremely important, especially with the size of our schools, the size of our sports programs, that we do have athletic directors who are dedicated full-time and aren't split with different activities or different responsibilities, should I say. But again, looking at, if we can get consensus today, to just looking at the policy or creating the policy.
I will go ahead and seek that. Mrs. Alexander?
About what we're doing. Are we looking at the policy?
We currently do not have a policy, so looking at creating a policy.
We have a policy for directors, period? Or there's
My understanding is
non-existent?
we do not.
Okay, so it would be either or. I would request that they check. If we don't, then it would be to create. Okay.
I would recommend.
Okay, we don't.
Yeah, I'm in alignment. I first think, did we check to see and confirm?
Yeah, I did
Okay.
ask, and my understanding is we do not currently have a policy.
Yeah. Mr. Tillman? You have consensus with me. Did you have any other comments, Mr. Santos?
No, thank you. That's it.
Alrighty, and then Ms. Abeles? Thank you.
Mary Ellen, so it's fine. Yes, I just want to share. I was also at the Avid showcase for Kimbark, and it's just so incredible. It's just so exciting to see our kids and our teachers. They're so excited. They're just amazing, you know. And I have to tell you that actually pretty much everywhere I've gone, that teachers are excited and engaged, and the love for their students and what they do just spills out all over the place. It's great because I now I want to come back and go. I'm really excited about doing that. I am also, I signed up for a career day or two, I think at least one, and Read Across America has already got me somewhere. I don't know. It's hard to, you know, I can't choose. I have to really stretch myself thin, but I'm trying not to get too tired. But I'm looking forward to all of those. And also, I just really want to share with you, next year, after we win another Golden Bell Award, please attend the, if you can't make it to the actual, you know, the big giant hoopla, but the one the San Bernardino County puts on, you have the winners from our area go, and the room is so filled with love. It's like a one big heartbeat all night long. It's just the leaders there are just so, I don't know, we get emotional because we see our kids, and every single person in there is just their hearts are in their faces. And I think last year it was our special education, our educators that won, and it was that way. And I thought maybe it's just me, you know, I'm too emotional. It's because, you know, it's my special ed, but no. And this past year, yesterday, it was just it's just overwhelming. I just felt the love, and I'm so grateful. When I went up to talk, I didn't burst into a song or do something silly. I was very worried. Like, all right. But I want to thank Superintendent Aureliano for allowing me to say a few words. So I did want to tell you, we brought the bell out, and please do not leave here without coming over and hefting it. I have it right here. All right, so anybody can break into a song for that. 1, 2, 3. So, but please come over and rub it for luck, and ring the bell, and just know it's like winning an Academy Award, okay? Because we are an academy of learners, always. So that's it, the end.
Thank you. Dr. Wyatt?
Thank you, Madam President. Not a lot of comments, but I will just add to what Ms. Grande said, Marion Grande, about the Golden Bell and just this district alone. And, you know, Anna Applegate and her team as well that was represented there last night. And we have model programs here, programs of excellence. And, you know, I continue to say that we are the leaders of this city in regards to transformation and change and developing incredible youth who will be the leaders of our city in time. We have 3 of them sitting up here right now, our future leaders of this community. And so, you know, and you're right, when we go to those Golden Bell ceremonies, you know, we have great pride, first of all, in our district and our programs and our staff and our students. And I know as a board member for me, it's kind of like a little bit of bragging rights. I'm just going to say it. And I was actually part of the ceremony. I'm on San Bernardino County School Board Association. Some of us are on here as well. So it's a little even extra for us. Not only there as board members, we're there as Powder County school board members. And then, of course, we get to celebrate everyone. And so just a great job to our staff. And it seems like every year, you know, I shouldn't expect it, but I expect it because we're always out there. And again, it's just a testimony to the diversity of our programs that are excellent. It's not in any one given area of education. It's not. It's in many different areas of what we do for our students. So I think that's definitely something to celebrate. I would love to see a list. I don't know who's going to put that together for us of how many Golden Bells we've actually won because I know since I've been on the board, it's almost like one a year. I know one year I think we had 2 or 3. It was incredible. So it's a testament again to the creativity, the innovation of this district, and our leadership, and the dedication to our students, our community. So, Marianne, thank you for representing us, there, and having great words to speak about our programs and our staff and our students. But and thank you to the entire team. Really do appreciate it. And a shout out again to our crossing guards, our crosswalk guards. That was really nice. I think recognition of them. I really meant what I said about safety. Our safe routes to school. I know Ms. Abigail Rosales Medina has been a part of that, and others here for many, many years. And and Mr. Tillman, thank you for saying that too about us funding our crossing guards 100%, because that shows another layer of dedication to safety of our kids. And I don't think we could ever be too safe when it comes to our kids. So and I think they're many of the unsung, unseen heroes. We drive by and we see them, and wave to them. And like I said, out there in the rain or the hot, it gets really hot around here in the afternoon. And my guess is they probably don't get much for compensation. I'll just say it. But they definitely deserve the recognition for what they're doing. So thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Dr. Wyatt. And I don't have any comments tonight. So I'll move on to 12.2, Superintendent staff.
Thank you, everybody. Well, I want to begin by thanking Dr. Rubio and all of his team in the Special Education Department for not only an outstanding presentation, but just outstanding work that they are doing. As Mr. Tillman was alluding to, they do work very efficiently with the increased number of students. And as Board Member Medina also said, we're very proud that we continue to supplement the special education program because our kids deserve the very best. However, having said that, we will continue to work as efficiently as possible because we know more kids are coming with more needs. And so we need to make sure that we find strategies, partners, such as we've been doing with the outside consultants that do virtual support. So, but I want to thank Dr. Rubio. He's done an excellent job. And Anna, thank you for guiding him as he's come in to be a director. I want to address the student walkouts because I know sometimes there are some misinformation that starts to float through the community. So I just wanted to reinforce what is happening. So first I want to begin by just thanking our school police department, our central office administrators, our principals, our teachers, and our staff members who have gone above and beyond to make sure that our students are safe, that they talk to students about alternative ways to share their opinions on campus. But when the students make the decision, their First Amendment right, protected by the Supreme Court in the case of Tinker versus Des Moines, we make sure that when our kids walk out, our responsibility to keep them safe continues. And so the folks that I've mentioned have done a great job of walking with our kids, making sure that they're safe on our streets. When they end up at their location, we have a strong presence of support around the perimeter of our students so that they have an opportunity to voice what they want to voice and make sure that there are not any outside agitators attempting to harm or influence our students in a given way. So I also want to let the public know that per Education Code 48205, the Education Code allows students to have an excused absence once a year to participate in protected right of First Amendment rights. So I want the audience to know that certainly we prefer our students to be on our campus because we believe that is the safest place for them. Our principals have actively engaged our student bodies to let them know that they are more than willing to provide avenues and arenas on campus to show their opinions, state their opinions. As an example, writing letters to our elected officials, to our members of the Board of Education and superintendents. So our principals have gone above and beyond to provide alternatives so that the students' voice can be heard on campus. But when the students make that First Amendment right to decide to walk the campus, then our responsibility to keep them safe does not end at the perimeter of school. We have walked out with them. So I want our community to know that we do provide alternative opportunities for our students, but when they do walk off, we are there. But we do ask our parents to please help us support in having that conversation with our students, because it does become more difficult to keep students safe when they're outside of the perimeter of our campus. So we do ask our parents to join us and helping our students understand that sometimes the best voice can be done on campus, the safest voice can be done on campus. But nonetheless, I want the community to know that we're there to keep our students safe when they exercise their right. I also want to give the community an update on where we are with the Chief of Police process. If you remember the last time we were together here at a meeting of the Board of Education, we were lined up to do the third round of interviews, which included 3 members of the Board of Education and myself. We interviewed 2 outstanding candidates, and from that opportunity, it was very hard to get to one candidate, but we have one candidate that we have identified as a finalist. We are in the process of doing human resources reference checks, as well as a post-level background check. So that information will be provided once it's garnered. We'll give it to the Board of Education to see if there is the opportunity then to move forward with a formal support of the board and vote for the individual. So all to say, the process is still working the way we intended it to be, and we anticipate board approval if all the reference checks and background checks come in. We originally thought we could get it done by the second meeting of March, but more than likely it will happen in the first meeting of March. So I want to thank everybody in the community for your support of the process, and hopefully we've been giving you enough information so that you had known what the process is, who's been included, and how it's working. The last thing I want to speak to before I get to my PowerPoint is to remind all of our parents of the new law that went into effect on January 1st, which is AB 413, which basically is the law that prohibits any type of parking within 20 feet of any crosswalk or curb extension. And so we have been getting many calls these last couple weeks from our community members who are seeing potential safety situations at drop-off and pickup time of cars impeding that law. So I have asked our school police to start to just be present, to start with the opportunity of just educating our families. I'll be sending something out through communications, just reminding our parents of that law. But at some point, once we've educated our community, we've given ample time for people to get used to the new law. There may be situations where school police may have to provide citations for the sake of safety. So I just wanted to let our community know that information from the superintendent will be coming down this week, and our police, school police will be working with our families to learn the new law and get used to it, but at some point we will need to enforce. So wanted to let everyone know on that. So moving over to our PowerPoint for the day, I want to start off with celebrating our Cajon High School students who participated in the world's largest cybersecurity competition. And this is competition where middle school and high school teams from all over compete on trying to find and fix a cybersecurity vulnerability that they are presented. And this year, our Cajon High School team number 3 actually got to silver status. So you can win platinum status, gold status, and silver status. So our team members of Cajon Team 3 earned silver status. Unfortunately, when you're silver status, you don't get to go on to the next step. However, we're building that level of excellence. So it's hats off to the folks at Cajon and the students that are part of those 2 teams. This is our first step into this competition. And like everything else that happens in this district, once we get our foot in something, we become excellent at it. So congratulations to everybody at Cajon High School for their Cyber Patriot competition. Next slide, please. And we had a great opportunity thanks to the Torlakson Whole Child Institute and the Boilermakers number 92, which is right here in San Bernardino. We had an opportunity, Mr. Santos and I, to be there with James Ramos to have 3 of our middle school students come out and get an opportunity to learn some of the trades. And it was very interesting because Michael Santos dared me to do some welding. So I actually put on the welding hat and the outfit. Man, I welded a little something together, didn't I? I did good, huh? I did pretty good. Not bad for a guy in a suit and tie. But the message was great, was that, you know, we want kids to go to college, and we also want kids to have opportunities in career if they so wish. And we have been building those opportunities thanks to this Board of Education that for the the last 10, 15 years had the vision of providing kids both opportunities. So we had young men and young ladies working the welding machines. We had young men and young ladies working on piping, and it was just great. So we are in the process right now through Chelsea Ramirez, a representative from the Torlakson, wants us to consider starting a welding program at a middle school and high school. And reason being, and I found out on that day, the gentleman standing next to me with green shirt, he's from the Boilermakers. They're looking right now, they need 25 welders, and they make $35 an hour. And so we want to make sure, and we know we have kids that would be interested in that, they have that opportunity so that we can keep the brilliance right here. So Chelsea, Alan, I know Anna, Suda, we're going to be working to see where we can identify a middle school and high school at the feeder system that we can create a welding program and hopefully get it started and working with the Torlakson group. So we're very excited on that. So Mr. Santos, thanks for coming and supporting the event. It was a lot of fun. We had a good time. Next slide. And congratulations to Tom Pace and his team, because once again, we've been recognized by the California Coalition for Adequate School Housing. We've been awarded the Award of Honor for the architecture of the Packham building. And we got the highest honor, the Award of Excellence for the Francis Grice Cardinal Child Development Center. So congratulations to Tom and his team and the architects and the contractors for building beautiful facilities that are being recognized. So good job to our team. SBCUSD continues to shine. Next slide. And as Board Member Alexander mentioned, we had our SBCUSD Spelling Bee, and Keith Johnson indeed has won back-to-back. He's like the Lakers, back-to-back spelling championship. He's a 7th grader from Richardson Prep High. And our second place contestant was Ariana Fox, who is from Rodriguez Prep. She's an 8th grade student. They will both now move on for the San Mateo County Spelling Bee, as Ms. Alexander talked about, on March 11th. So we will be cheering them on, and hopefully they'll do well at the county. And I will follow up with the request to see how many schools are involved, because it would be nice to have even more schools involved, more kids participating in this event that creates not only school pride, but district pride and community pride. So congratulations to Keith and Ariana. We're looking forward to cheering you on at the next step. Next slide. And yeah, I wanted to highlight the Kimbark Elementary Avid Showcase, because I want to remind everybody that Kimbark is now a Avid demonstration school. And so I've been able to participate in different types of showcases, but I want to thank Michael and Mary Ellen for going in and supporting Kimbark. We're very proud of that school. The administrators and the teachers and the parents have rallied around the importance of Avid, and it's making a difference. And so it's really nice to have a school right here in San Bernardino that's an Avid demonstration school. And I know Kimbark's going to be working now to go to that next level, which is a Avid School of Distinction. So that will be the next step, and it'll be great to have a school here in San Bernardino with that label. So congratulations to all the Kimbark community. Next slide. And as was mentioned, oh man, great AI parent forum. We had Christian Jackson, as you know, he is a CEO of Adapt and known as a national expert on the use of AI and AI tools. And he was here along with Cassie Caputo, who is our Google rep. And they were here not to just talk about what AI is about, but our parents got the opportunity to use AI. So they got an opportunity to learn what all the different tools that we have as part of our Google Suite, so that the parents could feel comfortable, not only to know what their kids are using, but that they know how to use it, the purpose of reason for the use of it, to support their academics, to support emotion, and then more importantly, Christian Jackson said an important thing, AI can be used to create joy. Joy at home, joy in your personal life, and so there was great examples of how AI can be used for that. So that is the first of two. I believe the second one is, when is it, Anna, do you know? Yeah, I don't think we have a date yet, but we're committed to a second forum. The parents were super excited and very appreciative. And so I just want to thank Christian Jackson, national expert, coming here to share the expertise. What made me even more excited is he said this. He travels all over the United States to do presentations on AI. And he said that as far as he knows, every district has been, we are the first district that's put together a parent forum for AI. So congratulations to all the departments that brought this together for our parents. Great things are happening here. Next slide. And board, I just want to finish reminding you that we continue to have our eyes on safety, on making sure that our perimeters, all of our schools are secured, that we have a single point of entry during school hours. And I know our assistant superintendents have been working hard with our principals to make sure that our principals have submitted their monitoring and supervising plans that happen every day to make sure that the perimeters of their schools are enforced and closed throughout the school day. What you see here are some of the new signs that Terry and his team have put together that clearly let the public know that during school hours, the only way in and way out is through the front office. And so you'll see some of these signs out there. If in your visits you see some areas that may need some signs, let us know, and we'll get them up as soon as possible. So safety continues to be on our minds, and I want to thank the principals for all the work that they have been doing to make sure that they're meeting all the needs, the safety requirements that we've put in place. And that's all I have today. San Mateo City Unified continues to shine. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me ask you a quick question about that last slide that you had mentioned. That's for all employees as well to come through the main entrance?
Unless they have issued keys, legitimately issued keys. So some folks can come in through the parking lot, staff members, as long as they've been issued keys.
Understood. Thank you. 13.0 summary of board members' requests. 13.1 sorry. 13.1 review of requests.
Good evening, board. This evening we have a few requests. The first was a request regarding the special education presentation. Ms. Ceballos requested data on the parent requests versus site referrals, how many have moved forward, how many qualify and do not qualify. Mr. Tillman requested consensus to agendize a discussion on changing the policy on drug use by athletes and banning them from sports for life. Mrs. Alexander requested information on the schools that participated in the spelling bee. And Mr. Santos requested consensus to agendize a discussion to draft a policy making athletic directors full-time. And Dr. Wyatt requested a comprehensive list of all the Golden Bell Award winners for the district. And that is all.
Thank you. 14.0 meeting adjournment. 14.1 in memoriam. The board would like to recognize and close the board meeting with a moment of silence in memory of district employee Ruben Vasquez, who passed away on January 18th, 2026. Mr. Vasquez joined SBCUSD on March 6, 2006, and was a dedicated adult education teacher who served the Inland Career Education Center for nearly 20 years. He was deeply committed to adult learners, providing not only instruction, but also encouragement and a sense of belonging. Known for his compassion and professionalism, Mr. Vasquez believed strongly in the transformative power of education and built meaningful connections with students and colleagues. ICEC was more than a workplace to him. It was his community. His nearly 2 decades of service reflect the lasting dedication to our district's mission and values, and his legacy will not be forgotten. We extend our deepest sympathies to his family, friends, colleagues, and students, and honor the many lives he touched.
Move to adjourn.
Second. Okay, meeting adjourned.